Before we jump into today's episode, I'm so excited to be able to tell you that my debut book, Optimal You, Supercharge Your Energy, Strengthen Your Immunity, will be published on the 19th of November, with the Kindle edition available on the 18th for 99p for one day only, so set an alert in your diary. Optimal You is a groundbreaking guide uncovering the 8 pillars of health for supercharged energy and strengthened immunity to optimize your health and extend your health span. Delve into evidence-based strategies to optimize nutrition, balance your lifestyle, reduce toxin exposure, and address root causes of health imbalances. There's a 14-step anti-inflammatory nutrition blueprint included in the book to supercharge your mitochondria and fortify your immune system. Plus, my 4 lifestyle S's, sleep, stress, strength, and social, that form the foundation of optimal well-being. The book will help you to empower yourself with practical tools and insights to embark on a transformative journey towards the optimal version of you. You can pre-order your copy or read what people are saying about the book at optimalyoubook.com. Now let's head to today's episode. Welcome to the Good Health Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Good, a certified functional medicine practitioner, registered nutritionist, and author. In this podcast, we delve into the world of energy and immune health and wellness with positivity, from optimal health and energy to stress and burnout, right through to immune conditions such as thyroid and autoimmune disease. We deep dive into functional medicine, nutritional medicine, and lifestyle medicine, as well as the personal stories of our amazing guests, from Olympians to famous faces and guest experts from all different parts of the health and wellness world. It's time to stop letting your health hold you back and become the optimal version of you. Don't forget to come and join the conversation on Instagram at good_health, that's GOODE, or visit the website nicolegoodhealth.com to find out more. Today's podcast episode is a little different, as I want to introduce you to Optimal You, my upcoming book. And there's lots of new faces around here lately. So for those of you who don't know me, I want to introduce myself again. So I am Nicole Good. I'm a certified functional medicine consultant. I'm a registered nutritional therapist, and I'm a BANT registered nutritionist. I'm an associate of the Royal Society of Medicine and a member of the Institute for Functional Medicine. As the founder and clinical director of the Good Health Clinic, we've won the accolade of Best Functional Medicine Clinic for 2 years running, 2023 and 2024. I studied neuroscience and nutrition at degree level, and I'm a postgraduate specialist in immune health, including autoimmune disease, thyroid conditions, energy and optimal health, and stress and burnout as a root cause. Through my work in clinic, I've created the MitoImmune Method. This is the process that I use in clinic to support my patients, and whether it's those who have already got an autoimmune condition or those who are looking to optimize their health, improve brain performance and energy, we use the MitoImmune Method with all of the patients in clinic. I'm also the host of this Good Health podcast and a media contributor for titles such as Women's Health and Marie Claire. And next month, my debut book, Optimal You, will be published. So lots of you have been asking questions about things like the writing process, the publishing side of things, who's the book for, what's in it. And I really want to answer some of those things for you today. And hopefully this gives you some insight into the process, the reason for writing the book, and what you'll get if you get your copy. So on that note, if you do want to grab a copy, you can do so at the links below this episode or by visiting optimalyoubook.com. I'm thrilled to say that it's not only on Amazon, but it's also in the big bookstores, so places like Waterstones and WH Smith, and also some independents, so places like Coles Books in Bicester. Plus, it's also available in America, as well as being on Amazon worldwide. It is in places in America like Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, and independents across different states. It's also available internationally, which I'm thrilled about. So we are in countries like Germany, Malta, Luxembourg, Australia, Canada, Hong Kong, New Zealand, Sweden, and South Korea. And if you want to find out where it's available, you can go to that optimalyoubook.com website. And we've put all the links of everywhere that we've found it. If you find it somewhere else, do let us know and we will add it to the list. But for now, let's jump in and let's start with why I wrote the book, because this is something that a lot of you have been asking. So lots of you wanted to know sort of what's inspired it, why did I want to write it? And for me, it all really started with my own health journey. I've been on the patient side of things. So I've been where you are, and I've also been on the practitioner side. But from that patient perspective, I know firsthand how challenging it can be to find reliable and trustworthy information. There is so much misinformation out there these days, especially with social media and, the web as it is these days. And it's it's really quite overwhelming for people. And that's why I wanted to bring you the science in a way that is really easy to understand so that people don't have to settle for suboptimal health. Because I think a lot of the time we think we're doing the right things. Maybe we're not. We're doing everything and we're not getting the results that we want because we don't really understand why we're doing something, why we've picked that thing to do to support our health. Or we're just totally confused because there's so much information and everything is saying something different and we don't really know what to do. That was part of the inspiration for it. The other part is my love of books. That also played a huge role. I've always been an avid reader. I believe that books have the power to reach and help a lot more people than we can support in clinic. And I wanted Optimal You to be a kind of a health Bible for those really seeking to improve their energy, improve their immunity, and their overall well-being and health span. So my motivation for the book was to address that energy and immunity picture. And that comes not only from my own experiences, but also from the many patients that I've worked with in clinic. So over the years, I've seen a really clear connection between stress, burnout, and then those chronic health conditions, including those autoimmune diseases. And from simply looking after our bodies as we age to living in that sort of modern day chronic low-lying stress that we have a lot, these low-lying infections that then start to take hold because of lowered immunity, and then chronic health issues, all of this leads to loss of immune tolerance and low energy. But that doesn't have to be the case. We don't have to accept it. And to address these challenges, I developed my signature method, the MitoImmune Method, Mito being the mitochondria, your energy, and immune for your immune system. And it's a unique approach that's built on 8 interconnected pillars of health. So this is what you'll see really strongly throughout the book, is how these pillars all overlap and interconnect with each other. So for example, if you've got a thyroid problem, yes, you're going to want to jump to that thyroid chapter, but don't miss out the other chapters, because actually throughout each chapter, we talk about how the mitochondria are connected to the thyroid, how the brain is connected to the thyroid, and you'll build a bigger picture of supporting your health by taking that whole body approach. So through my clinical work, I've found that these 8 pillars, and this is the mitochondria, the immune system, the brain, the adrenals, the gut, the thyroid, your hormone health, and cardiometabolic health, are all really deeply interlinked, and they play vital roles in that immune function, energy levels, brain function and performance, and longevity. So in the book, there's a chapter on each of these pillars. We dig into each pillar and I explain these interconnections and how they impact our overall health. In addition to those 8 pillars, I also dig into the importance of lifestyle medicine. So this is where my concept of the 4 lifestyle S's comes in. So we look at sleep, strength, stress, and social connection. And these are the foundational aspects of a balanced life. And together with that nutrition picture, they form the backbone of the book's approach to achieving optimal health. So that's why I wrote the book and the inspiration behind it. But a lot of you have also been asking about the writing process. Let's take a look at that. So bringing Optimal You to life was a journey that started long before I even started writing it. It actually began with more visual aspects. I signed the publishing contract in January, right at the very beginning of January. I think it's about the 5th of Jan. And the first thing that we did was we needed a cover shoot. They were quite keen that I was on the front of the book. So we needed a cover photo shoot done. So that was hair, makeup, cover photo shoot, totally out of my comfort zone, something entirely different for me. Not where I thought I'd start. When I signed a publishing contract and thought I'd be writing a book, I figured I would be, sat behind the scenes and getting on with the writing. But that was the first step. And there is a good reason for this. So there was the photo shoot, and then there was selecting title and selecting subtitle. And the reason for this is those are actually the 3 things that the publisher needs to be able to take your book to book fairs and to start promoting it. So they need a cover design, they need a title and a subtitle. So because we were on quite a tight time frame, it sounds like quite a long time, signing in January and publishing in November. That's actually pretty quick for the publishing industry. So a lot of books, it can be sort of 18 months, 2 years. It's very normal. We really didn't have that much time. So they wanted to get on with those things and be able to take it to the book fairs. I knew what I wanted the title to be. The publishers were really happy with the title. So that kind of stuck. That never really changed throughout. The subtitle, we went backwards and forwards on. I knew it wanted energy and immunity in there. I knew that was the focus of the book. I'd got a really good structure for the book laid out, but we went backwards and forwards, getting that sort of nailed down and to be happy with it, for the publishers to be happy with it as well. So that was the first part, the photo shoot. And then this all went off to the cover design people, and about 9 versions of the cover came back for me to have a look at and to choose from. And that was probably one of the harder decisions. Like I said, with it being a health book, the advice from the publishers was to have myself on the cover, which felt very out of my comfort zone. But I do love what they've done with the design. I'm really happy with it. And once the cover design was settled, I moved really then into the heart of the project. So then it comes down to writing. And the next few months really looked a lot like a lot of time sat on the floor. Much easier sat on the floor to spread out all the research papers and your computer and stacks of notebooks and everything else. So a lot of the time sat on the floor in my joggers, just writing and getting things down, doing lots of research. For me, creativity flows a lot better when it's pen to paper. So I actually started the initial draft by hand. And once I had that clear sort of structure for the book, it didn't really change much throughout the editing process. The structure really has stayed the same. The chapters that we laid out initially, I think we merged 2 chapters into one. And other than that, it's pretty much stayed the same. So that really allowed me in this time frame to focus on the deep research. And that was probably one of the most challenging parts for me, was figuring out what actually needed to be included while keeping the information accessible. Because it's really easy to want to put every single thing I've learned, all the science, everything into the book. And some of the heavier science we actually ended up taking out during the editing process, because I am really keen that this is a book that everyone can pick up, easily understand, and be able to dive into different chapters as you need to, while still having all the information there that you need. So it's important that you've got that science. If we understand why we're doing something and you understand how something works, you're much more likely to stick to making a change. So it's really important that you do have that science and that knowledge and that understanding. But I also wanted it to be really accessible. And that for me was probably the hardest bit, was finding that balance between giving you enough of the science and keeping it as accessible as possible. Writing the book was more than just kind of compiling the information, because I wanted it to be about creating a practical, actionable plan. You can go away with the book, you've got the science, but you've also got an action plan where you can implement steps to improve your health. And this plan basically forms part 3 of the book. And it draws directly from the work that I do with my patients in clinic. So once that sort of first draft was complete, once we'd got the science laid out, I'd figured out the plan, and that was to make sure we're hitting all of those pillars. Once that was done, then it really came down to developing the diagrams. So that was the next thing. So we needed the illustrations for key concepts. And I've done all these myself. These are things that I actually do quite a lot in clinic, because I do find that having a diagram, having something visual for some people, it really helps them to understand what's going on. And I think some people are visual learners. It won't be quite so neat. In clinic, I might scribble things out to show patients a diagram of something or how something works. So essentially what I did was we've taken those things that I would have sort of been scribbling out with patients and made them into prettier diagrams, I hope, that are then in the book to help you have that visual aspect as well, to help with that understanding. So after that, we'd got kind of a full first draft, and that's when the editing process starts. That's when we start going through several rounds of editing. And through these rounds of editing, things like the content's looked at, the layout is looked at, formats refined, followed by proofreadings. That's the final sort of stage of that editing process. And the whole editing process took about 4 months before the book became the final manuscript and was finally ready to go off to the printers. Of course, it's not been all easy. There's been challenges along the way. So balancing clinical work with writing at times was difficult. It's a huge project. We didn't have a lot of time to do it. The writing, the initial draft, I actually wrote in 6 weeks to get that first draft down, which is not long at all. There was difficulty in balance, especially when unexpected things happened in life. So we had family illness, and that really sort of took away from the time that I had to do these things, but the publishers were amazing. We kept on track. And really these experiences, these life experiences that were going on at the time, only reinforced my determination to bring this book into the world. I want it to be a valuable resource that people can dip into to support their health. And really the focus of optimizing your health and improving your health really came to the forefront. And it really made me realize how important it is that people know how to do these things. Despite the challenges, the writing process for me was a complete joy. I've always loved books. There's something incredibly satisfying about pulling together that reliable, trustworthy information into one place, knowing that people will be able to use it to improve their health, and knowing that Optimal You really could make a real difference for people. That's what kept me motivated throughout the writing journey. And I've thoroughly enjoyed every aspect of it. I've loved all of it. Even the bits I was more uncomfortable with at first, like photo shoots, it's all been good fun. So a lot of you have also asked about the publishing process. Once the first draft manuscript for Optimal You was complete, the next step was getting it ready to go out there in the world, which still feels a little bit scary, but that's kind of the point of writing the book. So the publishing journey involves a sort of series of stages. After the initial draft was finalized, we then went through development editing. So that's where we refine the content and the layout. So a few things got moved around. It moved into different chapters. Layout maybe got changed slightly. There were times where maybe I'd repeated myself. Things were in there twice, and we sort of juggled around with that. So that's kind of that development editing stage. And that phase was really about making sure that the message was clear, the structure flowed well, and that the information was presented in the best possible way. From there, we kind of shifted to layout and format of the book, ensuring that it was visually appealing, easy to navigate, and aligned with that sort of the overall aesthetic for the book that I wanted, that I'd envisioned. Like I said, the cover design was a crucial part of obviously the publishing process. Having the right look was important. And then finally, it went through that proofreading stage. Another big part of the publishing process is really taken out of your hands. It's handled by the publishers, and that is on them getting it into the retailers for you. And I'm absolutely thrilled that Optimal You is going to be stocked not only in big retailers on Amazon, obviously worldwide, but also it's going to be in, like I said, Waterstones, WH Smiths, all these sorts of places. And it's going to be in independent bookstores, which is amazing. We love supporting the independent bookstores. That's going to be across the UK. It's also across the USA, which is incredible. Independent bookstores are taking it up there too. And also, like I said, becoming internationally available. And the goal really is to make it accessible for readers no matter where they are. And I'm really proud that we've achieved that. The entire process, like I said, from finalizing the first draft to getting it off to the printers was around 4 months. And that was kind of this whirlwind of edits, layout adjustments, countless reviews. We had some early readers who read early copies for me. And each step really brought the book closer to becoming a reality. Throughout the journey, I learned a lot as well, especially the importance of sort of balancing that creativity with practicality. It has been a really interesting time and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And all the hard work now that, you know, when the book gets delivered and you finally see it in book format, it really is worth it. And I'm really grateful for the experience. So who is this book for? That's the other question that has come out from you guys. And Optimal You really is for anyone looking to take control of their health and optimize their well-being. So whether you are someone who is juggling the demands of, you know, our busy modern day lifestyle, you're struggling with low energy, maybe brain fog, maybe just not, the brain isn't performing quite as well as it used to, or you're dealing with lowered immune function, this book's definitely been created with you in mind. It is also a valuable resource for those who have gone a step further and who have already been diagnosed with chronic health conditions, including those autoimmune disorders. So the book is really designed to help readers to achieve better energy levels, stronger immunity, and overall health by addressing the root causes of these common health issues. You know, these chronic health conditions and autoimmune disorders now, they are common health issues in our society. And a lot of that comes from that stress and burnout and the demands of modern day life. The book is for you regardless of where you are on that scale, whether you're just getting niggling symptoms, whether you're feeling well, but you just want to optimize your health. You know, you're getting those niggling symptoms, or whether you've already got an immune related or energy related disorder, the book is going to help you. And we really dig deep into looking at the root causes of these common health conditions in the book. We go through those 8 interconnected pillars. We look at the 4 lifestyle S's, and it really provides that comprehensive approach to a whole body approach to health. It's also really easy to fit into even the busiest of schedules, so you can dip in and out of the book. And I know that, you know, many of you lead demanding lives. You're trying to balance work, family, personal commitments, and the book really is, it's actually even more important, I think, for those individuals because it breaks down the complex science into actionable, manageable steps. And it's also really important for those people to keep on top of their health. And whether you are looking to, you know, prevent future health issues, manage existing conditions, or just want to feel more energized, Optimal You is definitely going to offer you a practical, real world solutions that can make a difference in your everyday life. So this is actually a snippet from the book, and this is the first time that any part of the book has ever been read out. But this is a section right in the introduction, right near the beginning, on how this book can help you. And this is what I wrote. This book is your key to aging as well as you can, to maintaining your balance and vitality for as long as possible. It is your chance to gain the knowledge to stave off chronic illness or to balance any chronic illness you have so that you stay healthier for longer. It is your key to the optimal version of you. To do this, there are 2 main concepts that we're going to look at and how they interconnect around the body. Today, we live in a modern and frantic world. Within this world and the need to have it all, the pursuit of optimal health, longevity, and wellness becomes paramount. We all have a desire to live well and thrive, succeed in our careers, pursue our dreams, nurture our relationships, and maintain physical and mental well-being. In this quest, we can easily lose balance, but one factor to success stands out above all: energy. Energy is what makes it possible. It is the force that allows us to propel ourselves forwards. However, energy is not an infinite resource. It is finite and must be managed wisely. Like a bank account, it can be invested or depleted. Energy is part of our vitality, the currency of our productivity, and the secret to unlocking our full potential. When we think about living well, supporting our health, and what we need to achieve, our vision of success, we think energy. The ability to have the energy we need to do all we want to do each day and to be able to work, train, and spend time with family and friends. Imagine a day when you wake up refreshed, ready to tackle your goals with enthusiasm, and still have energy left to pursue your passions in the evening. That day is the day we all aspire to, but few achieve. In the world we live in today, the demands on our time and energy seem insurmountable. From demanding careers to bustling social lives, bringing up families, looking after elderly relatives, and the ever-present digital distractions, we're constantly pulled in multiple directions. Our vision of success requires us to do it all, but how can we possibly have the energy to do all of this without burning out, without getting sick? This brings us to the second concept: immunity. While few manage to achieve the perfect day of vitality, some do. But those who do often end up ill. Their immunity comes into the equation from a body and a mind that has been pushed to its limits. In the ever more important landscape of health and well-being, our immune system plays a pivotal role. Immunity is the foundation of our wellness journey, the shield that safeguards us from illness, and the bridge to living a longer, healthier life. Our immune system is a marvel of biological engineering. It is a complex network of cells, tissues, and molecules working in harmony to protect us from harmful invaders. But beyond its primary function, immunity has the potential to unlock a world of resilience and longevity. It is also behind one of the fastest growing epidemics in healthcare today: autoimmune disease. Autoimmune diseases have reached epidemic levels with increases of up to 12% a year, with teenagers seeing an increase on diagnosis over the last 24 years of 300%. In the contemporary world, our immune systems face new challenges and opportunities. Environmental stresses, dietary choices, and lifestyle factors all have a profound impact on our immune function. Our daily choices can either balance or undermine our immune resilience. With greater immune resilience, we can push our bodies further. We won't be off work sick. We will live well for longer and be around for our families. Immunity gives us longevity. Immune resilience comes down to two things: avoiding illness and living well for longer. There you go. There's the first snippet from the book. And this energy and immunity picture really is everything that I do in clinic with my patients. They really are the cornerstones to optimal health. And that, like I said, is whether you are coming at it from a preventative point of view or whether you've already got a chronic illness or autoimmune disease. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about with the book is actually how to use the book, how I've designed the book to be used. And to do this, I'm going to read another snippet out from the book, surprisingly called How to Use the Book. I've specifically designed this book so that you can choose to either read the whole book and jump into everything, or you can pick out sections and decide to focus on one area at a time. Part 1 of the book, The Foundations of Optimal Health, introduces you to the key concepts we will discuss throughout this book. Part 2 is the pillars of optimal health. This takes you through each of the 8 pillars: mitochondrial, immune, brain, adrenal, thyroid, gut, hormone, and cardiometabolic health, that help you find balance in your body, giving you the science, the knowledge, and understanding you need to know why you should work on this part of your health. I find with everyone I work with that if they understand why they are making a change, they're more likely to make it and also more likely to stick with it. At the end of each chapter in part 2, you will find a table that tells you which of the nutrients impact that part of your health. You'll find more information on this in part 3 as we start building out your plan. Part 3 of the book, The MitoImmune Way, Your Path to Optimal Health. This is your actionable plan, including a 14-step nutrition plan that supports all the pillars of your health. We then dive deeper, looking at those specific nutrients to support each pillar. You can refer back to the checklist at the end of each chapter in part 2 to see which nutrients you need to focus on for each pillar. We also look at the 4 lifestyle S's: the quality of our food, functional medicine testing, and what you can do next to further your health. So there's 2 ways to use this book. As you can see from that, the book is designed to work through. You can work through part 1, part 2, part 3, and you can work on all the pillars at the same time. Alternatively, You can dip in and out of this book. You can work on one pillar at a time if you want. Before you read the book, you can take my free MitoImmune Health assessment. The links to this are in the book. They'll also be below this episode. It's a free online assessment, takes a few minutes to fill in, and it gives you a score for each of the 8 pillars so you can see how you're doing with your health. If you want to do it this way, you can take the assessment. I advise you do the assessment anyway, even if you want to dig into all of the pillars, because it will show you where you're struggling with your health. But if you want to dig in a little bit at a time, which is absolutely fine, if you take the assessment, you'll get a score for each of the 8 pillars of your health. Where you score the lowest, you can then go to the book, read about that pillar, see which nutrients impact that pillar, and then you can go to the plan and implement the steps that are going to work for that part of your health. So there's 2 ways of working with the book. And the reason that I've done this is because I want people to be able to work through the whole book. If they want to read the whole book, they want to work on everything, I want that to be absolutely fine for people. That's how the book's been written. But I also wanted to make it even more actionable and manageable by being able to break it down. And if you want to dip in and out of the book and break it down even more, I wanted to have it work in that way too. That was really important for me, to allow it to be as accessible and as easy to fit into your busy lifestyles as possible, because that's what this is all about. We know that these busy lifestyles are really difficult to keep on top of your health, and I want this to be a tool to help you with that. I don't want it to become something that you have to do extra that puts more pressure on you. So you can work through the entire book, or you can dip in and out. And we've got that free health assessment that's going to help you know where to dip in and out first and where to start. So before we go, I want to read one more little section from the book. And this is actually how the book starts. I'm going to put this bluntly. Something is going to get you in the end. There is no miracle cure for aging. Every day we get older, whether we like it or not. We don't have the key to immortality. In fact, we should see aging as a privilege. I'm sure you all know someone who would love to be here still getting one day older. But let's just imagine for a moment that we did have the key to immortality. Would you actually want to live forever? That's the big question, isn't it? It often brings out very strong opinions in people. For some, it's a hard yes, absolutely. Who wouldn't want to live forever? They imagine themselves as immortal superhumans. For others, it's a hard no. It's nature, it's the way it's supposed to be. Who on earth would want to live forever? I think that actually the question is wrong. The question isn't, would you want to live forever? It is, if you could be well and fit, would you want to live longer? Because for those that are the hard no, the reason is always the same. You reach that point where you're old and sick, and who wants to go on living like that forever? They've always imagined old age. They've imagined themselves immobile, no longer fit and healthy, not able to do the things they want to do. And those that are the hard yes have forgotten to think about this. They've usually imagined some sci-fi scenario. I guarantee you they have never once pictured themselves living as a sick 90-year-old forever. This whole longevity picture has blown up in recent years. But as humans, we don't actually want to just live longer. We want to live well for longer. Which of the following scenarios would you take? A, you can live for 80 years fighting fit until your last day, loving and living life to the full. Or B, you can live for 110 years, but you'll only actually be well for 70 of them. I bet every single one of you would pick scenario A. So actually, you aren't hunting for longevity. You're hunting for optimal health. I hope you've enjoyed the insight into the book and my journey with it. Don't forget, you can get your copy at optimalyoubook.com or at the links below the episode. We're also in all the big bookstores, and you can follow us on social media. Instagram is at GOODE_health to follow the journey and see more updates and exclusive offers. On that note, stay tuned, because in a moment we're going to drop you the details of a special promotion that we've got coming around the book. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go and grab your copy of the book now, and I'll see you next week on the Good Health Podcast. So we've got a special offer coming with the book on the 18th of November. That's a Monday. And for one day only, the Kindle edition of the book will be just 99p. So this is something that Amazon do. But we are doing a prize draw around the 18th of November to celebrate launch. So it's really simple. If you order the Kindle edition on November the 18th, that's a Monday, for the one day only, it will be 99p. Plus, if you send us a picture of your Kindle order, you can send it on email, you can send it us on Instagram, you will be entered into an amazing prize draw. And the prizes that are going to be available are a space in my 3-month program. So this is worth thousands of pounds. We're going to have 1-hour consults. These are worth hundreds of pounds. And we're going to have supplement edits, signed print copies of the book, and other great prizes. And you can be entered into this prize draw for just the 99p of purchasing the book on Kindle on the 18th of November. Plus, there'll be a bonus entry if you do decide you'd like to leave us a review on Amazon. Anybody who leaves a review will get a bonus entry into the prize draw. This is an amazing set of prizes. So if you've been thinking that you want to work on your health, or you've been thinking you'd like to work with me, this might be something that you want to look at doing. So that's Monday, 18th of November. Get it marked in your diaries now. We will, of course, be reminding you. Or you can join the book waitlist if you prefer, and we will let you know when the promotion is going live. We will link the book waitlist below this episode, so you can jump down there now if you want to fill that in and get alerted so that you don't forget to be entered into the prize draw. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Good Health Podcast. Do share the episode with anyone you think it may benefit, and help us to spread the word on all things health and wellness by rating, liking, or subscribing to the podcast. If you want more, you can listen to more episodes on your favourite podcast app, or sign up to my newsletter for my favourite tips, tricks, health advice, brands, recipes, and more at nicolegoodhealth.com/newsletter. Have a lovely week. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Good Health Podcast.